make at least 2. One unpainted for tooling, and then we'd paint one to show them how to do the paint masks and stuff.
So you guys were coming up with the paint?
Yeah, we
off.
were doing everything.
Right.
I mean, we were soup to nuts.
If there's one thing that I continuously love about being a toy fan, a toy collector, toy historian, whatever you want to call me, I think I fit into all those categories. But one thing I continuously love about all of this is when I get to get a little peek behind the scenes of the creation of some of my favorite toys from my childhood especially. I love seeing the process of this stuff being made. I especially love it when prototypes are discovered, or we get to learn new things or see unreleased stuff from original toys. All of that is fascinating to me. Well, recently, my friends over at Definitive Films, the folks behind the amazing Turtle Power, a definitive history of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles documentary, have reached out to me once again to share some incredibly exciting footage. Now, if you're not aware, Definitive Films has actually had a backer kit going on where they're taking orders for this amazing second documentary with all of this footage that they just haven't used yet, while documenting the history of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles brand. And among all of that footage is some incredible interview material with Steve Varner. Now, if you're not familiar with Steve Varner, he is the person behind Varner Studios, a toy prototyping company that's been around since 1979, most famous for doing the sculpting and prototyping for the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles action figures from Playmates Toys. And of course, they were behind so many other toys that we love. They did a lot of stuff for Playmates: Toxic Crusaders, Star Trek, WildC.A.T.s, etc., etc. So Definitive Films recently met up with Steve Varner to talk about his time working on these toys, and while doing so, Steve actually pulled out a ton of boxes filled with amazing prototypes of some of these toys that we know and love from the original TMNT toy line, as well as early prototypes, including the first Ninja Turtle sculpt and some unreleased stuff. Definitive Films has graciously shared a piece of this footage here with us today, so I'm gonna shut up now. You guys have to watch this.
You know what's really weird? Since I'm a toy maker, I wasn't into toys when I was a kid. Because it wasn't as fun as just taking stuff and making things. Really little, like maybe 5 or 6. They were doing street construction. I lived in this little town in Minnesota called Buffalo. And when they dug down, I would jump in the trenches after they leave at the end of the day, and I'd check out all the strata, right? And there would usually be a strata of clay, so I'd just scoop it out, then take it and make stuff out of it. But, people are always going to be looking. That was one of the ones. What? Oh, no, that's toxic.
What were they supposed to just literally like?
And we probably used the torso. When I first started, there was only 5 people that were doing, freelance sculpture in the frickin' world.
Right, yeah.
And I was one of them.
One of them. And that's
so
why you have
that's the key to success right there.
So this one would never have been articulated in the legs then?
I don't think it was.
Yeah, because if you didn't have pins in it, then it wasn't articulated, right?
No.
Yeah, he's actually got both of them.
Sometimes that sort of evolved over time. We started off by just sculpting them in one piece and then cutting them up.
Right.
God, they are waxes. I can tell by the...
Yeah, they're like breaking up.
Yeah, because we always drew the parting lines on first.
Is this what, this is like next generation?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, that looks like,
This looks like, this is a casting though, because I can tell because he shrunk a little bit this way.
Now, were you always accounting for the fact that the wax to the castings were going to shrink?
Yeah.
So you'd have to sculpt up.
And it's not
an exact science.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
But you guesstimate.
What was that? No, that's con, isn't it?
This is con. This is the original wax. Before we cut him up, we didn't cut this guy up yet.
Wow.
I always liked Star Trek, so it was fun to sculpt the figures, but I still, I don't have a
Here,
good
pull his. You can grab his head there. That's actually a really nice rendition. Did you do these ones? Or
Yeah.
Was it an employee that?
No, I think I did this one.
That likeness is fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I don't, you know, who knows? We've worked on so many things. I would let people start things and then I'd finish things.
The cool thing about this is it's just like Christmas every time because we don't know what's in the boxes. Oh, cool! That's the ski turtle Mike and another cave turtle. Not an Exo Squad girl.
Oh, this is one of my favorites.
Oh yeah,
the Indian chief. I love that guy.
Oh gosh, look at that! What a great headpiece though. Quite frankly, it is cool. Oh man, so this is when you were. Now, did you do
Kirk?
Star Trek Turtles before you did Star Trek?
No.
Same?
No, because the way it always worked with Playmates, and this is the Carl thing.
Yeah.
They, you know, we did Turtles, and we took that, you know, pretty far, and then they decided, you know, to buy the Star Trek license, and then we did the Star Trek stuff, and then Carl goes, "Let's do Star Trek Turtles." Yeah.
What is that? Is this?
This is from Toxie. This is, I forgot what his name was, but I love that figure. That's one of my favorite figures. He should have been a turtle, but he's not.
Well, talk about the similarities there, because Turtles was like, and Toxie is almost interchangeable.
Well, they're done by the same people.
And I think that Troma designed that.
Yeah, probably. Well, I don't know what Troma did. I think they just got lucky.
Was that one made? I don't think that one was made. So the clay is quite literally what it sounds like. This is like the real thing they sculpted with their hands on it. So this is, you know, you could still sculpt this if you wanted to. And then, but that is malleable, so you don't want to be working with that and damage it. So they immediately make a silicone mold of, and that's why they've drawn on here where the parting lines are. Like, you're gonna make a mold, and that where that black line is where the two halves of the mold are gonna go in together. And then they'll make hard copies, right? And this is what these are. So these hard copy masters, and we'll get him to re-explain it, because the hard copy masters. Now, Steve, so I'm trying to kind of explain for viewers at home. The hard copy masters were sent to China, and they would make the tooling from the hard copies, right? So how many hard copies would you make of like one toy?
Well, for them, what we do is we'd usually make, we'd make at least two. One unpainted for tooling, and then we'd paint one to show them how to do the paint masks and stuff.
So you guys were coming up with the paint?
Yeah, we were doing everything.
Right.
I mean, we were soup to nuts.
Right.
You know?
And which is what this represents, isn't it?
Yeah. Then here's drawings. These are original pencils.
It's actually an even better story.
Ooh. Yeah, this is a Jim Lee.
So what is the story of the Jim Lee?
Well, you know, Playmates sculpted the WildC.A.T.s figures, which we sculpted, and then since they had the turtle license and the license for Jim Lee's, they just talked to the turtle guys and the Jim Lee and said, "How about if we make Jim Lee turtles?"
And this one is particularly special, isn't it? Because there's only one of this one. Or actually, no, sorry, that was never made.
Is this Leo?
Yeah, it says on the box it's unproduced.
Yeah, Leo was the one that wasn't made. I remember that now.
It's hard to tell because there's no immediate like. So that would be the only one.
Yeah.
Seriously, this stuff blows my mind, and I really hope that this is something you guys all enjoyed watching. Steve Varner, for several years, had come to San Diego Comic-Con, and he would actually set up a Varner Studios booth and bring many of these prototypes every year and just display them in a case. And it was always one of my favorite places to stop while he was doing that, because just looking at this history always blew my mind. Now, there were some amazing Ninja Turtles pieces in there. That first turtle obviously is incredible to see, but I noticed a few other things in there, such as Toxic Crusaders, like the unreleased Snail Man. I remember seeing this one on display alongside some other unreleased Toxic Crusaders figures at San Diego Comic-Con, and I've been drooling over them ever since. I love me some Ninja Turtles, but I also really love the original Toxic Crusaders toy line, so this stuff is just amazing. It's mind-blowing to me seeing these toys that we almost got but were never released for various reasons. In the case of Toxic Crusaders, it's because the toy line got canceled before that second wave, so they just never went into production. but these pieces still exist, and stuff like that makes me so happy as a toy fan. And I love getting to see this stuff, just knowing it's out there, and these creators like talking about it and showing it off, I think is so very special. So if you are interested in seeing more of this from Definitive Films, make sure you go check them out. I'm going to put some links in the description below because, like I said, they are offering you to be able to get this second documentary, which is just hours and hours and hours of awesome footage that they haven't shown to anybody yet. In fact, if you recently went to the theaters to see the re-release of the original Turtles motion picture, that little snippet at the beginning showing some unreleased footage from the movie, that was Definitive Films. That's some of the stuff that's included in this. So definitely go check them out. And if you are into the prototypes enough that you want to own some of this stuff, well, you're in luck because Steve Varner has actually decided to sell some of that stuff. So there is an auction that's going to be taking place very soon with several of the pieces that Steve Varner just dug out of those boxes being sold off to end up in the fans' collections. So again, a link to that is also in the video description. I believe that auction is going to be running for about 1 week after the time of this video being posted, so definitely check it out right away. All the links are in the video description below. Thank you so very much to Definitive Films for sharing all of this with me. I just love the history behind these toys, and I hope you guys do too. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what your favorite prototype was that you saw, or what's your most wanted unreleased toy. That's a good comment. What's your most desired toy that never got released that you would love to see released right now? I would love to see more of this Toxic Crusader stuff. I think it's fascinating.